We have got breaking news tonight. Former White House Press Secretary Scott McClellan has agreed to testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee at issue whether Vice President Cheney and others ordered him to make misleading statements. Now, McClellan just confirmed it moments ago on Countdown with Keith Olbermann.
The House Judiciary Committee reached out to me. They invited me to come testify, and as I've said before, I'm glad to share my views, and I told them I was glad to share what I know about the Valerie Plame leak episode. So I will be going before the committee a week from Friday on the 20th of this month.
The question, of course, whether the administration retaliated against certain critics by leaking the name of a CIA operative. Joining me on the phone is House Judiciary Committee member Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz of Florida and Roy Seekoff of the Huffington Post. Thanks to both of you for coming on. Appreciate it. Representative, let me start with you. What are you hoping to get from Scott McClellan?
Well, what we've been trying to get to the bottom of for a very long time, and that is to basically see what the depth of the deceit was in the Valerie Plame case and how high up it goes and how high up it went in this administration. There's a lot that we can learn about Scott's communications with Karl Rove, with the vice president, with Scooter Libby and the others, and it's going to be incredibly important for us to open up some of the big questions we've got.
Here's another piece of sound from McClellan from Countdown just moments ago, confirming that he will be testifying in front of the House Judiciary Committee.
The letter that they sent to me said specifically about the Valerie Plame leak episode and the potential concerns that there might have been a cover-up, I think is the way that Chairman Conyers phrased it in a letter. But, you know, if they get into other questions, we'll just have to go from there.
Representative, what about other questions? Are there other questions that you intend to ask him beyond the Valerie Plame episode?
Well, whenever someone comes in front of the Judiciary Committee to testify, you know, they're subject to a whole range of possible questions. One of the things that I really want to ask him about is the run-up to the Iraq War, and I know he's described in the book that there was quite a bit of planning and shaping the run-up to the Iraq War that did not line up with the facts that the administration reported to the American people. So that's a really deep concern that we've had for a long time, and it's something I want to ask him about.
Roy Seekoff, how big a deal is this?
Dan, this is a very big deal. I've always said that the Plamegate case is worse than Watergate ever was. Nobody died as a result of Watergate. 4,000 American soldiers have died as the result of the cover-up about the lies that led to that war. And that's what this is about. I mean, McClellan said that Bush asked him to go out and exonerate Libby. It was about covering up all the information that's coming out now in the Phase 2 we just saw from the Senate. They didn't want that coming out in 2003, and that's what this whole case was about.
Representative, I've got to ask you this. As you know, the White House has refused to allow Karl Rove to testify, so they claim. And there has been some suggestion that maybe they could step in here and invoke executive privilege. Is that a concern?
Well, you know, from what I understand, Scott submitted his book to the White House before it was published, and they asked him to excise certain portions under the claim of executive privilege, and he rejected their assertions. And so, you know, we've been down this road before, and we don't believe the White House is going to be able to prevent his testimony in any way.
Roy, do you expect the White House is going to step in? I mean, Dana Perino made a reference to it today. Do you expect that they'll step in and say he's not allowed to testify?
They've tried to do it every step of the way. I wouldn't be surprised. But as you said, the Congresswoman said, you know, he did vet the book with them, so it should be an interesting showdown.
All right. Congresswoman, thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. We, of course, are going to stay on this story as it continues.